Claude just released a brand new tool called Claude Design, and it is changing what is possible for anyone who wants to build a professional-looking website without hiring a designer or spending months learning design software. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works, from the very first prompt all the way to a fully responsive, published website. I am going to be completely honest about what it does well, where it needs human input, and the exact workflow that gets you the best results. If you have been wanting to build a website for your business, your portfolio, or a client, but felt like design was too technical or too expensive, this is the video that changes that. Claude Design is a purpose-built design tool from Anthropic, the same team that makes Claude. It lives inside your Claude account as a dedicated tab, and it is specifically built to help you create visual, digital products, rather than just generate text. When you open it, you will see several modes to choose from. You can create a wireframe, a basic structural layout that maps out where elements will sit on the page. You can build a high-fidelity UI, a fully detailed, visually polished version of a design, with colors, typography, and styling all applied. You can create slide decks from templates, and there are additional modes for other design tasks. One of the things that makes Claude Design different from just asking Claude to write code is the design system focus. A design system is the set of visual rules that define how your brand looks, your specific color palette, the fonts you use, the spacing between elements, the thickness of borders and lines. Professional designers work within design systems to keep everything consistent across a project. The good news for beginners is that you do not need an existing design system to start. Claude Design can build one for you or work without one entirely. You describe what you want and it creates the visual language from scratch. This is what makes it genuinely accessible for someone with zero design background. The most reliable way to get great results from Claude Design is to start with a wireframe before asking for the full visual design. This two-step approach consistently produces better output than trying to go straight to the finished design in one shot. Create a new project in Claude Design and select the wireframe option. Then, write a clear description of the website you want to build. Include the main sections you need, the hero area at the top, the features section, the about section, the call to action, the footer. Describe the general feeling you want the site to convey and the type of business or project it is for. Claude Design returns multiple layout variations, typically 3 different approaches to arranging the same content. One might have a centered hero layout, another left-aligned, another with a split-screen design, where content and visuals sit side by side. This is one of the most valuable parts of the process, because seeing 3 different structural options immediately shows you which direction feels right for your project, without you having to commit to anything early. Use the controls below the variations to make quick adjustments. Change the navigation style, adjust the layout of a specific section, toggle between different header treatments. These micro-adjustments happen instantly and let you explore without starting over. Once you have selected the wireframe layout that feels right for your project, the next step is upgrading it to a full, high-fidelity design. This is where the visual polish comes in. The colors, the typography, the spacing, the decorative elements that make a website look genuinely professional. Tell Claude Design to develop your chosen wireframe into a high-fidelity UI. What comes back is a fully styled version of the layout with a complete visual identity applied. Typography choices, color palette, section styling, all of it, generated and applied consistently across the entire page. At this stage, you can continue refining through the built-in controls. Adjust your brand colors to match your specific identity. Switch between different heading styles to find the one that fits the feel you want. Use the edit function to update any text. Your actual headlines, your real call to action copy, your genuine business description directly on the design. The result at this point is something that would realistically cost several $100s if you commissioned a designer to produce it manually. You have a structured, visually coherent, multi-section website design built from a single initial prompt and a handful of refinements. A well-structured layout with no images is a blueprint. Adding the right visual assets is what turns the blueprint into something that genuinely impresses. This is also the step where your own creative judgment matters most. For hero images and background visuals, use an AI image generation tool to create assets that match your specific aesthetic. Describe the style you want, the mood, the color palette, the subject, the composition, and generate several options. Choose the one that best fits the design direction you established in the wireframe. Once you have your image, bring it into Claude Design by dragging it into the appropriate section. Claude automatically adapts the design around the image, adding gradient overlays where needed for text readability, adjusting the layout to accommodate the image proportions, ensuring the overall visual hierarchy still works with the new asset in place. For an especially premium result, consider animating your hero background. Take your generated image into a video animation tool and create a subtle looping motion version, a slow drift, a gentle atmospheric movement, a cinematic parallax effect. Replace the static background with this animated version for a hero section that immediately sets the website apart from static competitors. The combination of a well-structured layout from Claude Design and carefully chosen visuals from AI generation tools produces results that genuinely look professional. Mobile responsiveness is not optional. The majority of web traffic now comes from mobile devices, and a broken mobile experience immediately undermines the credibility of the whole project. After building your design, preview it at different screen sizes. Resize the browser window down to phone width and observe what happens. Elements that were well spaced on desktop may stack awkwardly on mobile. Navigation menus that work horizontally on large screens need to collapse into a touch-friendly mobile menu on small screens. If responsiveness issues appear, describe them to Claude in plain language. Ask it to fix the layout so it stacks correctly on mobile. Ask it to convert the navigation into a menu icon that opens a full-screen overlay when tapped. Describe any specific elements that are breaking and how you want them to behave at smaller sizes. Claude addresses these adjustments accurately and quickly. A mobile responsive, touch-friendly version of your website is typically 1 or 2 follow-up prompts away from your initial design. Once fixed, preview the mobile version again and continue refining until every section works cleanly at every screen size. When you are happy with the design, the final step is getting it from Claude Design into the real world as a live website. Claude Design includes a handoff feature that passes the complete project to Claude Code. This allows you to continue making detailed refinements using Claude Code, adding specific interactions, fine-tuning animations, adjusting elements with more precision than the design interface allows, without any of the visual progress being lost in the transition. In Claude Code, you have a locally running version of your website that you can continue to develop through conversational instructions. Add new sections, adjust spacing, implement hover effects, change how elements animate as the user scrolls. Every change happens through plain language conversation without you touching any code directly. When the site is ready to go live, ask Claude Code to help you push it to a code repository and connect it to a hosting service. Claude walks you through each step of this process in plain language. Connect a domain name, and your website is live and accessible to anyone with a browser. The entire journey from first prompt to live published website can be completed in a single session without any prior design or development experience. Being completely honest here matters, because the difference between your expectations and reality is what determines whether you find this tool useful or frustrating. Claude Design gets you roughly 80% of the way to a finished professional website. The structural layout, the visual styling, the typography choices, the responsive behavior, all of that is handled well. What it does not do is replace the creative judgment that makes a great website great. The remaining 20% is entirely yours. Choosing the right image that communicates the emotional tone you want, deciding that a particular color combination feels slightly off, and knowing intuitively what to adjust. Recognizing when a section layout technically works but somehow does not feel right, and making the specific change that fixes it. Writing a copy that actually connects with your specific audience rather than sounding generic. These are not technical skills. They are taste and judgment, and they are things you develop by looking at a lot of good design, thinking carefully about what you want to communicate, and making intentional decisions rather than just accepting whatever the AI produces first. The tool is genuinely powerful. Used with your own creative input layered on top of it, the results can be excellent. Used passively with no human refinement, the results look like what AI generates when left entirely to itself. Claude Design is a genuinely useful tool for anyone who wants to build professional quality websites without a design background or a large budget. The workflow from wireframe to high-fidelity design to responsive published site is accessible, fast, and produces results that would have required significant technical skill or significant financial investment just a few years ago. Start simple. Pick a project, your own business, a portfolio site, a concept you have been sitting on, and run it through the complete workflow once. The first project teaches you more about what the tool can do than anything you could read or watch. The second project will be faster and better. The third is faster and better still. And once you have your first website built, the question becomes how to turn that skill into income. In the next video, I am covering a beginner-friendly Claude AI side hustle that almost nobody is talking about right now. One where the barrier to entry is low, the income potential is real, and the window to get in early is still wide open. Click the next video right now, and I will see you there. If this gave you something valuable, leave a comment telling me the one thing you're committing to change about how you use AI. I want to hear it. And if you want to go even deeper, stick around. There's more where this came from.